Welcome, you guys. This is going to be the astrology forecast for the week of August 18th. All right. Normally on Sundays, I go live on Twitch and TikTok and talk about the upcoming transits, but I'm going to be out of town. So, making sure that you guys still have that information, but definitely check out my socials below so that you can come join me with those lives. Those lives are a great place to ask me any questions that are astrology related. I leave it open at the end, more conversations, more deep dives, and it's a beautiful community that we're building on both platforms. So I'll leave those linked below if you want to join, follow, so that you get notified. Also, subscribe here if you're enjoying the content. If you've seen some of my videos, I would love for you guys to join and hang out. So this week. So this format is going to be a little bit different than any of my other videos that are not live stream recaps. I'm going to be just free flowing, hanging out like I would normally do with my lives. That's just how I like doing these videos. I want you guys to see me candidly looking at these transits and digesting them as I move through them with you in real time in this recording. But I like being present with the transits and what's coming up. I'm looking at them with you right now. So I'm going to give us a rundown of what we are going to be having this upcoming week, kind of give you a spiel about it, and then go through each transit in and of itself. If you prefer this in a written format, I have my newsletter called Letters from the 8th House. I take everything that I share here and I put it in a written format. So on Monday, the start of the week, you get it sent to your email and it's in digestible pieces. I'm a teacher at heart, so I like to make my content available for all learning styles. So you could put me on in the background of you cooking or doing a little arts and crafts. If you're doing an arts and craft, let me know, comment it below, whatever you're doing, however you're listening to me. I love knowing what you guys have going on. And then otherwise, you will still get the email on Monday if you sign up to my newsletter down below. It's totally free. Come hang out in my community there. All right. So on Tuesday, the sun is going to be trining Chiron. So that is Tuesday the 19th. No direct transits on Wednesday or Thursday. And then Friday, the sun enters Virgo. Thank God. I'm a Virgo rising, so I'm a little biased with that one. Venus will square Chiron, and then we're going to be having a new moon in Virgo. Now, I haven't even looked at that new moon chart. I have been looking at other charts happening in September, so I'll fill you in about that when we talk about the new moon. But this week has some heavy Chiron transits, and by heavy, I mean Chiron just tends to bring those like tender points within our wounds. And additionally, when I'm talking about these transits, this is when they're coming to a peak, so we may be feeling them come to a head a couple days before and then still feel the effects a couple days after, just like I always compare it to on my live streams as when the moon comes to full illumination for a full moon and then ebbs. So it's the same thing with transit. So you may be feeling these things a couple days ahead, and if they are outer planets that move a lot slower, we'll be feeling those for a longer time. So just so we're all on the same page, all right? Make sure you have a beverage. I know I told you guys to tell me about your arts and crafts, but if you're drinking something, let me know. One day I will be sponsored. We're gonna make it happen. Email them. This is Element electrolyte water. All right. If you see me looking off to the side, it is because I am so cool. I have dual monitors. I'm looking at the chart off to the side. I have my calendar up as well. So we're going to start talking about Tuesday, the 19th. And all right. Let me jump ahead a day on the chart here. So on the 19th, we are going to be having the sun trining Chiron a little bit earlier in the morning, depending on your time zone. I'm looking at Pacific Standard Time for myself. This is really sweet, actually. So Chiron stationed retrograde a week ago. Okay. All right, Izzy, calm down. About a week ago, we had the Chiron station retrograde, and I wrote about that in my newsletter pretty in depth and talked about it during that live stream recap that I uploaded. This is just the invitation to go inwards with the wound of identity. Now, this trine, which is a positive energy flow between the sun and Chiron, is granting us the opportunity to actually shed some light on those tender parts. So again, to reiterate what Chiron is all about, Chiron is about the parts of us that we are learning to heal by helping other people with those same wounds. Okay, so it seems very interesting, a little bit counterintuitive, because it's like, well, if it's my wound, shouldn't I just work on it? But we can't see it as directly. It's sort of the idea of, you know, when you give your friend advice, like relationship advice, and then you happen to be in the exact same scenario and you're like, oh, you know, without seeing it outside of yourself expressed, you aren't able to really feel it concretely. And so Chiron in Aries, Chiron's been in Aries for a hot minute. And it's been having us look at our wounds around our identity, right? Who am I? Who am I really? Who do I really want to be? Now, the sun here is shining a light on this space. And since the sun is in the sign of Leo at the time this is happening, I really see it as more of a joyful community, like close friend illumination, where whether it's just friends really being like, you're doing a great job, I see the progress you're making, or just feeling that sort of lightness from the people around you or witnessing it in others and seeing that progress of like, even though things can be hard, we're still like moving through it and we're still doing the best. We're still having this Leo energy of celebration. It's actually interesting. It reminds me of a message I did this morning. I'm filming this on the 13th, just so you guys have context. And if you follow me on my channeled messages account on TikTok, one of my channeled messages this morning was about like, can two things be true at the same time? Which is like, can you still be moving through grief, but also find joy in the world, right? That's kind of what this transit is relating to. Can we have both and still allow ourselves to have fun, but also on the flip side, understand that life isn't always sunshine and rainbows, but it could be sunshine and rainbows and we could have a thunderstorm off to the side too. Like, there's a large sky that we have happening within our own internal world. All right. My shirts are really bugging me. I don't know why it keeps keeps getting like skewed. So if you see me pulling at it, Virgo rising things, I just want you guys to see me as so perfect. But that's also why I'm not editing this video, because I know the people that find me, whether it's through TikTok, through, I don't know, actually, how did you guys find me? That's a great question. Answer all. Okay, so I'm going to ask a lot of questions in this video for you guys, because I'm used to live streaming, and it's so, I love live streaming because I like connecting real time in with you guys. So have the comment section open and start like answering the questions I ask, and then just send it all at the end of the video. So yeah, how did you guys find me? It's actually market research happening live. But actually, I'm just curious. So be open to positive feedback and actually taking in the like support that's happening with this energy of like, hey, like you're doing the thing, like you're actually actively healing this wound around your identity, and I see you reflecting on it, and I see you real time like moving through these things, right? That is beautiful. Now we're gonna, wow, this isn't gonna be a very long video now that I think about it. We don't have any like massive crazy transits happening. So let's jump ahead to Friday the 22nd. Again on, oh my god, I'm so freaking ready. This day is gonna be perfect. By perfect, I mean perfect in Virgo standards, which is, yeah. So on Friday, the 22nd of August, the sun will be ingressed into Virgo. Yeah. So moving into Virgo, We'll talk about Virgo in a second. And then we are going to be having a new moon in Virgo on that day. Something to bring your attention to. All right. So get your little notepad or whatever, or sign up to my newsletter so you have this information. I'm pulling up the document I'm working on right now because I'm creating an eclipse season guide. So the reason I'm bringing up eclipses is this first new moon that we're having in Virgo, keyword first. What? First? That means there's a second new moon. Yeah, we're going to be having 2 new moons in Virgo, and the latter one is going to be a eclipse. So, okay, it's not a fear-based thing or anything. It's kind of to draw your attention to this new moon. It's going to kind of set the stage, set the tone for the rest of the lunar cycle, and also it's actually going to have like something starting, something ending, like a very full circle picture, because normally when we look at lunar cycles, we'll have a new moon in one sign and then a new moon in the next sign. It doesn't usually happen in the same sign, right? This is more of an astrological blue moon, because if you see once in a blue moon, it means like full moon twice in 1 month. But this is within a season, astrological season. So, notes on days to remember for September is on September 7th, around September 7th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be having a total lunar eclipse within Pisces. And then on Sunday, September 21st, so right before the sun's going to be shifting signs into Libra, sorry, burps, we're going to be having a partial solar eclipse, okay? So you don't have to think too much about those things. I'm just giving you those key dates so that you can have them in your back pocket, because on this Friday the 22nd, with the sun moving into Virgo, and then right after that having a new moon in Virgo, we're getting like a full circle picture that's happening here. So the seeds that you're planting, these are things that are, it's layered. It's layered here. It's complicated. Why you had to make things so complicated? Yeah. So, it's complicated in the aspect of like, we have a whole eclipse, two and a half, gosh, words. Mercury's out of retrograde. I'm still struggling. So now I can't blame it on the planets. I have to take ownership for my brain moving so fast. Me, an astrologer. Eclipse cycles happen in a 1.5-year cycle. So we had the nodes, the north and south node, move into the axis of Virgo and Pisces at the beginning of this year. We're going to see next year them shifting signs fully into those other axes. I can say things in plural. A little bit later. So these themes are going to be themes that are going to be continuing, but there's going to be a focus for you. So this new moon is giving you the opportunity to have a little bit lighter clarity before we jump into the more deeper transformative endings and beginnings that come with the eclipse portal. So nothing to be like, especially if you don't have any like planets specifically in Virgo or Pisces or Sagittarius and Gemini, those mutable signs. Like, chill, we're good. Okay. Virgo season, back to school, baby. It makes me think of like pencils and like context. I used to work in education. So like Virgo season, I'm thinking of I'm getting my planner, I'm getting my stickers, I'm getting pencils, I'm getting things ordered, dialed in, classroom set up, online classroom set up, like it's time. And this Virgo season is going to be a little bit different because we're going to be having eclipses. So it's like, It's going to be so interesting because the North Node is in Pisces, and it's going to just rock Virgos in the way that, can you relinquish control? Let go and let God? Yeah. So, with the sun entering Virgo, take a look at your natal chart and see where this symbol is. We're going to pop it up on the screen. This is the symbol for Virgo. I love writing the Virgo symbol. It's so fun. My favorite whenever the moon's in Virgo, because I journal every day and I write what degree the sun is at and what degree the moon's at when I'm journaling. And I love writing little Virgo symbols, so I get to do that for a month. Let's go. Take a peek at where Virgo is in your natal chart. Now, if you're using whole sign houses, it's going to fit into one house. Now, if you're using Placidus, which is usually the most common house system that people use, it might fit into two houses if you have split houses. So it might be transiting your second and third. So with the sun moving into a new sign, it is just highlighting a different stage of life for you. It's going to be easier for your focus to be on that stage. So for Virgo risings, it would be on your first house. So identity is going to be illuminated. You're probably going to have a lot of eyes on you, sort of thing. Let's go. Let the eyes on me, baby. Unless, anyways, so what is this energy I'm in today? I had a nap, guys. Midday nap. Normally I'm not a napper, but I'm retiring that sentiment. So I had a nap. We're good. Everything's great. So then with a new moon, I cannot guarantee a new moon in Virgo video. I will attempt. Again, I'm going to be traveling. So if I do record, it might be lower quality. It might be on my MacBook, a little bit more personal, but you'll see. Subscribe so you'll get notified if it does come out, or jump onto my newsletter. I will write something out for that new moon regardless if I post a video or not. So that new moon is going to kind of set that seed of intention for the cycle of the sun being in Virgo. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to get clarity and deepen into routines and what's working, what's not working. It's almost like clearing shop. Again, with that sort of back to school energy, that kind of really pulls into the Virgonian energy. It's all about making sure things are in order, routines are set. I think of like moms with back to school starting. It's like, do they have their lunch boxes? Do we have the fridge stocked? It's like preparation. Again, this is like kind of gearing us into more of the fall energy because it is the mutable sign. It's that gateway. The thing about Virgo is so underrated. And I know my Virgo people know this because it's like everybody's like, well, you're just a perfectionist. It's far deeper than that because Virgo is the gateway sign. They are the sixth sign, and that makes them the bridge between the first six and the last six. And the thing about Virgo is it's mind, body, spirit connection. It is the disciplined divine feminine. It is deeply, deeply powerful. The thing about Virgos is they will purify anything that is around them. They transmute energy like a ad lib, whatever you wanted me to say there. But truly, it is so deeply powerful. Now, there's always both sides to a sign, and that can go into over analyzing and over purging and like trying to make sure everything's working right. And the truth is that's why their sister sign is Pisces, which is all about surrender and flow and trusting something bigger, because Virgo's trying to make sure that we can cross over this threshold, that we can be in alignment, be in a body, in a vessel, a spirit in a vessel. So that's why health things are very important to Virgo, making sure that, their body is in order. Some Virgo energy tends to be a little bit hyper fixated on that. Like, I have to make sure I'm eating all the right things. And so it's always a back and forth oscillation. But this moment with the sun being in Virgo, whatever house it's transiting for you, you're getting the opportunity to purify that energy, to get clear on it. It's like preparing for the next season, because really all mutable signs, so the mutable signs being Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius, those are our gateway signs. They transfer into the next season. So the next season being fall. So this is sort of the bridging of that. So what things need to be harvested? What sort of lessons did we learn from summer? We're getting the opportunity to kind of slowly let things close. It's like mutable energy is so beautiful because it has this quality to it that allows us to be in the now. It's a very present energy, and being able to navigate the present energy with precision and not get swept away in strict structured energy that tends to be more like Taurus or fixed sign energy, is like, this is it, very rigid, and it's like this or not this. Cardinal energy is all about starting things but not finishing them. That's the thing that Virgo does. Not Virgo, but mutable energy does. It kind of transfers, it mutates. It makes me think of, I'm thinking of the Animorphs books. You know what I'm talking about? Where they mutate into like animals. It's kind of like the in-between process. That's what I'm talking about. So super exciting. And then again, this new moon, let's look at the exact time that this new moon is going to be happening. So Friday the 22nd, oh, it's like late at night. It's going to be the 22nd to the 23rd, depending on your time zone, because for Pacific Standard Time, we're looking at 11 p.m. So that would be early in the morning Mountain Time, 12 a.m., 1 a.m. for Central, and 2 a.m. Eastern. Cool. So just so you have that in mind. Additionally, on that day, the 22nd, we are going to be seeing Venus, and Venus is in Cancer, is going to be squaring Chiron. That's why I said we are kind of having like these Chiron heavy transits. Now, this is a very interesting tone to take. So Venus in Cancer is very soft, nurturing, delicate. Think of the like yummy gooey part inside of the crab. That's the yummy delicious part that we all want to eat up, right? With this square to Chiron, it's irritating Venus in the way that like I totally got a mental image. And for those of you who are new here, I tend to get very visual representations of the astrology, and it helps me articulate it in a way that hopefully can be more digestible for you guys. And the image I got was somebody who like prepared like a self-care bath, right? You got your bath, you got your bath salts, you got everything. It's all dialed in, but you have like a gnarly cut that you haven't addressed. And so it's going to be painful if you try to get in this bath with all the like perfumes and all the like luxury things. It's going to irritate it. And this wound I see is this wound around who am I, right? I see it being like, am I worthy of pleasure? Am I worry? Interesting that word slipped out. So maybe there's something that you're worried about with this time. I take words that slip like that as spirit coming through. So there might be some worries coming up, but it really is this energy of like, can I receive? Is it safe to receive? Is there what is alternative? I can't say the word. I see it in my mind. Alternative? No, it's another word. Comment it below. I'm struggling. But other motives, you know that word? That one starts with an A. Other motives that you might feel or you're projecting outwards, like, is this real? And then Chiron here is just like almost thinking Venus is too much, is being like, like, there's not time for the self-care bath. We need to like actually address and like continue to dive deeper. And so it's this sort of like, I want to like do the things that feel nurturing, but there's this sort of like guilt trip. And so I want to invite you to look at the shame. because that's what Chiron's pointing out here, is this sort of shame or guilt that we have with indulgence, with taking care of ourselves in ways that maybe we're looked down upon within our upbringing. Maybe it's like, no, like you have to make sure that you crossed all the I's, dotted all, oh my God, y'all. Crossed all the I's, crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's. This is funny. This is funny, and I love that I'm just fully candid with this, and I hope you guys are giggling. It really is like, are you sure that you can, do you even have time for a bath? Because we need to like, Venus is like, put down the burden. Like, put down the burden, get in the bath. And Chiron here is like, yeah, but X, Y, and Z. It feels like a lot of like structureless excuses a little bit. But there's a part of your ego identity that is so wrapped up in these pain points, because the truth is there's a part of your identity with Chiron and Aries right now that is still thriving. It's a parasitical kind of relationship with some of your wounds, right? Because who would you be if you didn't have those wounds? You couldn't continue certain stories. You would have to actually, you know, maybe forgive some people, maybe... This shirt is really, maybe it's time to sell it. It's not sitting on me right. Totally lost my train of thought with that. Give me a second, guys. Take a sip of your drink. I'm gonna take a sip of mine. Yeah, it really is that sort of pathway of, if you didn't have these wounds, you would have an entirely different life, right? And that is the thing that Chiron retrograde's really having us look at, is like the old stories of our identity and where these wounds came from and why do we perpetuate them? Why is it so much easier to help other people that have these wounds than to help ourselves? So that's happening all while this new moon's going to be coming into play. And, you know, I'll have an email on that if you sign up to my newsletter, and might have a video on it. So just keep your eyes peeled. No direct transits on Saturday, besides like the new moon will be edging into the morning of the 23rd. But on Sunday, early morning on Sunday the 24th, gosh, that's crazy saying like 24th of August, the sun will be squaring Uranus. So again, the sun just moved into Virgo, so we'll be feeling this as the sun ingresses into Virgo. But it's coming to an exact moment at like early morning on the 24th, like 1 a.m. early morning. The sun will be squaring Uranus. So this, I hope you heard that. My neck was crunchy. This is going to be interesting. Uranus moved into Gemini earlier this year, and it was a very powerful shift. I have a whole video about it on my channel if you want to go and watch it, because it deserves a whole video in its own. So go check it out. This square is creating this tension point between, like, I just heard organized chaos. That is kind of the energy. So I can see Virgo season's going to be starting out with a sort of like, It's not going to be starting the typical way that we are used to. This is the first Virgo season that we're having Uranus and Gemini. Woo! Buckle up, kids. Buckle up. Especially my mutable sign people. So, yeah, this is going to be this creates a whole different energy as I'm tuning into it presently. Yeah, it's not... everybody pray for the teachers. I have a lot of sympathy for teachers because it's a lot. It's a lot. I could go on a whole tangent about that, but donate to your local schools or teachers. They don't get enough money to get all the supplies they need. So, if you're able to give, right? This is Virgo season starting off with like a little chaos chaos queen energy, because Uranus is challenging the sun here with this square. It's kind of like, oh, so you thought you had things in order? Well, here you go. So I just see this as unexpected shakeups in routines, unexpected delays, frustrations. This feels a little like the energy I could relate it to is probably Mercury retrograde, but it's more of the higher mind. It's sort of like you're trying to, Virgo energy right now is what we're supposed to be leaving behind with the South Node there. I'll be diving deeper into that when I talk about the eclipses, but this is frustrating. This is a frustrating transit because it seems as though the sun wants to kind of show up like it has the last, 7 years, 8 years, show up in Virgo and be like, I got everything put together. I've got all my crayons color coordinated. I've got the outfits planned for each day. It's going to be Christian girl fall outfits, like everything's dialed in, ready for your pumpkin spice lattes, getting prepared for the cool weather and like transition. But the thing about Uranus here is it's like time for a whole new episode, time for a whole new season, and it's going to be in this uncomfortable, like, things are not going to go according to plan. It's just not. That's just not the nature of Uranus here. It's the thing. Why I'm struggling to articulate Uranus is because the way Uranus and Gemini has been working has been sudden mental upheaval or change or insights that are flashing in like flashes of lightning, and it's in this mental space. So it could be a lot of like, I'm seeing like wind blowing papers free from your hands, and it seems like I heard, can you keep your cool even when things around you are unexpected? So it's sort of this like, it's like a weird energetic test. This kind of feels like, it feels like, are you sure you crossed all your I's, dotted all your T's like I just did? It's kind of that thing like where you feel like you've prepared and you're ready, but then suddenly you're making like kind of out of pocket like errors. So this is sort of just advice of like, just be more gentle with yourself during this transit. There might be a little bit more frustration. The evolutionary invitation of this transit is to see where your, capacity is to feel. Your capacity is to like hold tension and noticing like your nervous system and having practices to really regulate your nervous system, because Uranus and Gemini is really just bringing you up into that headspace, and Virgo here really wants to make sure that it's grounded and connected. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so just taking a look at Mercury is not yet past the retrograde shadow at this point of this happening, so there may be still like past things kind of surfacing that happened during the Mercury retrograde time, but it definitely is giving this sort of like, it's such a weird energy. It's almost, I keep getting back to school imagery, so bear with me. It's 3333 on my timer here. Yippee. The energy I'm getting is like, imagine you show up for your first day of school and it's, you got the date wrong. Is sort of the energy that I'm getting. Yeah, it's frustrating, but then there's on the flip side, like, okay, what can I do with my day? Or the other end of the spectrum where it's like you got the first day of school wrong and you're getting a call from a friend and they're like, where are you? Like, health class started like 20 minutes ago, you're still not here, kind of thing. So it's sort of this like lack of preparedness, and it's not something that you can like, I know the Virgonian energy is like, well, how can I like quickly prepare for this, right? How can I make sure everything's ready? And the truth is like, you can't really prepare for it because that's the energy of Uranus and Gemini, so it's going to show up. So this is, the invitation is, How have you been cultivating a deeper trust within yourself, within your body, within the transits that we've been going through have been really preparing us for just really diving into a deeper level of self-trust and navigating unexpected changes and just being centered and just reminding yourself here that like you're safe in your body. You can move through this. It's okay if it's messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I know that Virgo energy is going to be like, but I want it to be, right? This is reality. So, something to keep in mind there. Yep. Now I'm thinking about all the other stuff that's going to be happening, but we're not going to talk about that yet because I will save that for later. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, we're going to have some cool transits the following week as I'm looking at it. So just again, quick recap is on Tuesday the 19th, the sun will trine Chiron. On the 22nd, the sun enters Virgo. Venus squares Chiron, and then we have a new moon in Virgo. That's going to kind of set us up and give us a sort of insight. Again, it's going to be squaring that Uranus as well there. So it's like there's just going to be interesting tension on that new moon. And then the sun, yeah, will be squaring Uranus early morning on Sunday. So hopefully this is helpful. If you've been enjoying this video, it's so helpful if you like the video, subscribing as well if you're enjoying this content, and send this to a friend to help them prepare for the week ahead so they have some insight to move forward. And I will see you guys next Sunday at 4 p.m. PST on Twitch or TikTok if you'd like to join me there. And then if you're not joining me live, it will be uploaded on YouTube right after the live stream, and the newsletter will go out. If you have been looking for somebody to do a natal chart reading, I'm your girl. I would love the honor to read your natal chart. And I have a bunch of other offerings as well, so go ahead and check them out. I do card readings, embodiment sessions, and I have a couple mentorship spots open still if you would like to work with me one-on-one in a closed container. With that being said, I'm wishing you guys luck and love for the week ahead, and I will see you guys in the next video.